Hello, everyone. Good evening. I hope I'm audible.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So, welcome to one of the live sessions for the course Python for Data Science. So, yeah, let me first introduce myself. I am Prakriti from IIT Delhi. I'm doing my PhD. I'm in the third year of my PhD. So, I'll be one of the TAs for this course. So, yeah, if you didn't know already, there are two other TAs. I'm not, they'll be handling the live sessions. Yeah, was somebody saying something?
ஆனா மேலுக்கு புரிஞ்சிருது அந்த இருக்கிற ஆள்கிட்ட பாத்திமாவை பத்தியும் மேலுவை பத்தியும் சொல்லிட்டாரு அப்படின்னு நாட்களாக மேலுக்கு எப்படி தெரிஞ்சதுன்னு உங்களால சொல்ல முடியுமா யோசிக்க
Can you please mute yourself unless like you have something to say or ask? Sorry about that. Okay, there was a question. Hello, ma'am, is the lecture available on YouTube? Yeah, we'll be uploading the recordings of all these live sessions on YouTube. So I'll be handling the live sections every Tuesday from 6 to 8 p.m. Am I audible? Like somebody's not able to hear me.
Ma'am, your voice is breaking down.
This is breaking. I think it's just the internet connection. I don't know. Yeah, thanks for confirming. Yeah, I was just saying I'll be handling the live sessions every Tuesday for 4 weeks. So this is just a 4-week course. So I'll be handling every Tuesdays, 6 to 8 p.m. And I'll upload the recordings. So you'll have the recordings available on YouTube on when you wake up, it'll be available for you. So is this like how many of you are attending the live sessions for the first time? Like there were two other live sessions that happened before, I guess, last week. How to get the video from YouTube? Okay, how do you get it? I links should be
3867 when we add 4 tens.
Can you all mute yourself? I hear somebody's voice. Yeah, maybe I'll just do that. Pranjal, yeah, I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing it wrong. Like, did you have a question? I see your hands raised.
No, ma'am, you asked right who is joining for the first time, so that's why it's stopped.
So I'm not sure about, I'm not exactly sure, but there should be a page on your website, on your NPTEL course portal. Like there should be links to the recordings. I can just, are you also aware of the, I don't know what you call that. Yeah, let me just check my. Yeah. Portal. So there's something called a discussion forum. Like
Ma'am, can you please explain it from basic?
yeah, I'm just like explaining how this live sessions are gonna work. And yeah. So I was telling, I'm not sure where you'll find the recordings to the links to the YouTube. Yeah, like what is this? I think no, it's not that. Yeah, I'm not sure about that. So I'll just check that and I'll let you know. So if you didn't know so far, there's something called a discussion forum. So if you go to your course page, can you see my screen?
Yes, ma'am, it's visible.
Yeah, so if you go to
Yes, ma'am, it's visible.
If you go to there's something called discussion forum, and you click on continue. And yeah, there's just this group, like a Gmail group kind of a forum thing. So yeah, whenever you have questions, or if you find any mistakes in your assignment questions, or you like have any doubts regarding your assignments, you can just like start a new conversation here. And yeah, one of the members of the team will address your issues. So yeah, I'll also let you know where you'll find the links to the YouTube after I confirm it. So I'll be posting it on this forum like in the next 2 days. You can just check that. Okay. So about this course, so yeah, you'll find all the lecture videos here. So the week 1 lectures are just very basic introductory lectures. So it just tells you about Python as a coding language and like how it's used for things. So the major languages that people use these days are Python and R. So R is mostly used in like when you deal with biological data and statistics, especially like when you do statistical analysis, you mostly use R. And Python is mostly used when you have machine learning approaches.
Ma'am,
Yeah.
basically R stands for what?
R stands for what? That is a good question. Not sure if it stands for anything. Mm, yeah, I'll get back to you with that. Yeah.
Okay, ma'am.
Ma'am, I have a question.
Yes.
I know some basic Python and I have to increase my skills. But in this course, they are using very basic kind of Python. So how can I be able to increase my skills from this particular course? Is it
So if
going further advanced level or something? What?
Yeah, really not sure about the upcoming weeks, but I can tell you that it's gonna be very basic. Like if you have seen the week 1 lectures, it's just like what is Python, how you use the interface, how do you assign variables and all that. So yeah, it depends on what you want to apply Python with, like what kind of tasks you want to do. So are you interested in something in particular? Like what's your major and where do you intend to apply Python?
Yeah, ma'am, I would like to work in API handling. It is fascinating to work with a large amount of data, scrambling it and all. So I would like to work in it.
Okay, so the best way to like start applying Python. So if you like look at all these courses, it's all gonna be very introductory. Like they're gonna start from the basics, and you won't learn anything just by looking at the lectures. Yeah, I can tell you that you will get to learn and you'll be able to think of how to code and how to like solve problems only when you start working, applying it. So you could always start with like if you look at like tutorials, or you could just find some course materials online and you could see if they have example data sets or test data sets they have uploaded somewhere. And you could just try working with those test data sets, like whatever you want to do, like whatever application it is.
Or any other
So once
sessions?
you start handling data, that's the good way to start. So like, yeah, once you have a file in hand, the first question is like, how do I open the file? How do I read the file from the directory? So that is not explained in this course right now. So for that, there's a specific function, a 1 line of script that you need to write, right? So like once you start up doing something, like like you'll be getting a lot of questions in your head, like how do I do this? How do I do that? So that's how you learn. Like starting from how do I read this file? So now that I've read the file, there are many columns in the file. How do I read one particular column? And how do I just extract specific rows that match a certain value in this column? So all these questions can be answered and you can learn all this when you start working. So like how many of you are new to Python? Like you have no idea, you just know it by like you just know it by name. Can first year students course. Yes, anybody can do this course. Kannan, Nagarajan, yeah, anybody can do this course. So the outcomes of this course, I guess it just gives you an introduction to Python, like how you can start setting it up and how you can think of applying this to your like objective. So that would be the major outcome of this course. But yeah, to be honest, I'm not very sure of what the contents of the whole course material is. Yeah, because I was busy, I didn't get much time to look. No, attending these live sessions are not compulsory. It's just for people like who need more like help with like let's say there are people with no experience in Python. So all your assignment questions would be based on Python, like how you like run something. So people who are not very sure and who need more guidance with that, like they are welcome to attend this live sessions. It's not compulsory though.
Ma'am, one question I have. Is this the first session, live session you are doing?
Yeah, that's one that I'm doing.
Okay, ma'am.
I've done like I've previously done other courses like data science with R. Course I just started last week, I guess, 26th and 26th. Yeah, this is my first live session. Not compulsory. So, which week will we create project like predicting price? I have no idea, Sitesh.
Professor in Delhi or what? I have to confirm it. Or you are a student although?
I am a student. I'm a PhD student. So, yeah, like I'm majoring in bioinformatics. So I deal with like cancer like spatial we have heard it before. We work with R and Python. I think my internet is unstable. Can I use it to learn machine learning? Yes, Shiva Krishna. So a lot of machine learning applications, like tools that are built these days are based on Python. And like you don't build the whole machine learning app from scratch. Like there are already a lot of libraries that do the thing. You just have to supply the data you want to train. So machine learning is basically you train data sets. Yeah, my voice is breaking. I think my internet is unstable.
Ma'am, will you be solving any problems in this live section, ma'am, or it's just a doubt clearing section?
So I had just like planned to show you Spyder notebook. Like, yeah, so today's plan for me was to just give you an introduction to this Anaconda thing and all the interfaces that you could use for Python. So I was just going to show Jupyter, and Spyder is what we'll be working with in this throughout this course. So yeah, I had made a script.
இல்ல சார் சொல்லுங்க.
Okay, ma'am.
Yeah, just a minute.
சூப்பர் சார், கங்க்ராச்சுலேஷன்ஸ்.
Ma'am,
Sir.
I have any doubts.
Yes, go ahead. Yeah, somebody had a doubt. What extent do you have to learn Python? So, like, to be honest, like, when I joined my PhD, I had no experience with Python at all. Like, I knew R programming, but I did not know Python. But yeah, like I said, as and when
Ma'am, how the exam is going to be, like we have to write the answers or the code?
So your exams will mostly be like multiple choice questions. You don't have to write any code. So have you gone through your week 1 assignment? So it's mostly
Yeah.
going to be like that. And
Okay, fine.
Yeah, I don't think you'll be able to use Python during your exam, right? So, yeah, you won't be able. So, what you have to do is you just need to understand the logics of how the codes work. Like, let's say we look at this. Sorry, this is last week's assignment. I mean, last year's assignment. Isha is requesting. Okay.
मॅम
Yes, please go.
माझा फोन चेक करतो चेक केलंय का
Talking, please mute yourself. Yeah, I'm sorry, but yeah.
Excuse me, ma'am.
Yeah, please go ahead.
Ma'am,
Tarana.
may I know the purpose of studying Python?
Purpose of studying Python. What do you think is the purpose of studying Python? So these days, everything is about data, right? Like whatever you do, like everything that you do is all data. Like each and every field, like there's somebody like storing information in a computer. So that is data. So like to handle data, you need some scripts because data is huge. And even just to read the data, you can't manually do it. So that is like it starts from that. So it can, the application of Python can be as simple as that, just to handle data and to read data and stuff.
Same in case of Java.
Create account.
Ma'am, same in case of Java. Means basic difference between Java and Python. If we are learning Java.
Mm-hmm. I don't have much idea about Java, but Java is still widely used for like building web applications and yeah, like a lot of websites you build in the back end that uses Java, like till date. So Java is the widely used thing to build websites and all that stuff. But Python is mostly to do analysis kind of stuff, to like analyze existing data. Wait, yeah, let me just go through. Spyder is available for Windows. Yes, Spyder should be available for all platforms, for Windows and Mac as well. So like, yeah, you can install Spyder as a standalone, or you can install this thing called Anaconda Navigator if you haven't done it already.
These are the platforms for coding for Python.
So yeah, I can explain that to you. So
Okay, ma'am.
yeah, this is a platform. So I can just show you the things that are widely used. So this Jupyter Lab. Jupyter, you can code. So Jupyter, you can code. Yeah, sorry about that. Okay, so Anaconda Navigator gives you like a wide range of platforms, like interfaces where you can like code. So the widely used ones are like Jupyter Lab. So there's some coding language called Julia, which we are not getting into, and I really don't have any idea what that is. So Jupyter stands for Julia, Python, and R. So with Jupyter, you can code Python and R. So like let's create a new notebook. So you can create a new notebook. Like I just have Python based notebooks here. So here basically you'll be able to select whether you want Python or yeah. Whoever user is, please like why you keep unmuting. Yeah. Yeah, I'm sorry about that. So yeah, this is
Ma'am,
basically
using Mac OS.
this is an example of a script. I'm just showing you things that from my work. So it contains like each of this is a cell. You can run chunks of codes here. So you do this and you run it. So yeah, this is just, I'm just showing you what this is. So you have cells, you write the script, you can run your script, and your output also would be generated in the same page. Like you don't have any pop-ups and all that. So let's say like this script, it generates a plot. So the plot is generated right here. So the advantage of this Jupyter is that it's good for documentation. So you can just save this notebook as such, and whenever you open the notebook, you can see your outputs there already. Like if you have run the scripts, all your outputs will be there. And you can also like export your notebook into a HTML file. Like you can export notebook as a HTML file, and you could like share it with other people. Like I can show you something that I have. So yeah, this is a Jupyter notebook that I created. I ran scripts. I did some analysis, I ran all the scripts, and I've exported into a HTML file. So this is good for you to explain to someone, like when you have a presentation to make reports. This is very useful. Jupyter is useful in that case. Like you can integrate texts into it. You can download a paragraph, and you can also add chunks of codes, and you can show your outputs of your scripts as well. So this
And
is an
when we could say I am familiar with Python, uh, what we have to learn to say that words.
You can say that just if you are able to like open a Python interface and you know what to do where. Like let's say I open this Jupyter. So if you know what this part is and what you can do here and where you can see the output, that is one thing. And one more thing is you should be able to read a line and understand what it is. So if you look at this line, be able to say, okay, this does this. And see, there's something wrong with this line. If and you should be able to point out what's wrong and why is there a cross here. This one indicates that this line is wrong, and it'll give you an error if you run it. So like that's all you need to know to say that I know this language. But anything else you can all. So there are many you can do.
To write a code on Python, what we have to learn, madam, basically.
Somebody have a question? Like, yeah, I'm sorry if I'm just muting you, like when you're about to ask something. It's just I'm muting people because I hear all background noises. But yeah, feel free to unmute yourself and ask your doubts.
விஜயனை தொலைபேசியில் தொடர்பு கொண்டு மீட்பு பணிகள் குறித்து பேசியதாக பிரதமர் தகவல். கேரளத்தின் மீட்பு பணிகளுக்கு மத்திய அரசு சார்பில்
What are the basic functions we have to learn, madam, to write code?
Basic functions that you need to learn. Okay. So yeah, like you always need to start with how do you define things like variables. Defining variables is the first thing that you need to know because everything you do, it starts with storing your information in a variable, right? So that is the first thing you need to know. And you need to know like what library does what. If you don't know that, that's still fine. You can always like Google things like how do I create, like what library can I use to make a plot? So it'll tell you, you can use a library called matplotlib to make plots. So that you can always do anything. The important thing is you need to know how to how to do searches. That's one thing you need to know. And yeah,
Thank you.
yeah. So you, you need to start with like how to store variables, how to import libraries, and the basic syntaxes. So like so in Python, you assign a variable like age is equal to R. But in other programming languages like R language, you could do it using an arrow like this. Age is equal to 12, like this. But assign it into a like you can supply a list of numbers as well. This doesn't work, might not work in Python. So yeah, you need to know the syntaxes. Like, yeah, these are the basic things that you need to know when you start learning a language. So once you know this, you can always go ahead learning to build functions and all that.
Okay,
And
ma'am.
your exam will be online, I think. I'm not sure what the question is. We will not be working with Spyder and Jupyter. So I just showed you Jupyter
Tell me about
idea.
can you execute some simple simple codes in this session?
So, if you don't mind, may I know what are the basic outcomes of this course? Like, where we have to apply this thing? You're telling that
So,
our studio and our like,
so
so where we will apply all these things, ma'am?
where will apply all this? So, uh, like, can I just have an idea of your background? Like, are you all like college students? Like, what do you do? Like maybe
Yeah,
I can
ma'am.
try.
I'm a big student of AD, artificial
Sorry.
intelligence and tech.
Yeah, so AI would probably you'd be dealing with a lot of languages. Like, I mean, like programming. So yeah, the major goal of this course is to give you an idea. Like a lot of people will not be like might not be familiar with the existing programming languages. So it's just to give you an idea that this program exists and you could use this for a wide range of applications. So it's just like an introductory thing. Like it gives you like a starting platform for you to learn. So now, like you learned this course, and now you have an idea of like how to read files with Python. So you like in future, you could always like you are let's say like you do a PhD in like biology. So you have collected biological data doing experiments. So now how do you visualize this data? So you have all the data collected, but that will not make any sense until you kind of see any pattern, try to find any pattern in it, right? So like, yeah, that is like one of the applications. So if you know this language, you could straight away go ahead, read that file, and you could like create, like use this library, matplotlib to make a plot and visualize it. So yeah, it just uh, like gives you an opportunity to know what all you could do with these options that are already there. But I think that is the
Ma'am, how are we able to continue Python forward direction?
so yeah, I think the first thing would be to look for not courses. What do you call that? Like online, there must be a lot of online tutorials. Like even like on YouTube, you should find a lot of videos like how to do this specific task. Like how can I do this analysis with. So there should be a lot of like tutorials. It could be video tutorials or documents, like markdown files, like that gives you the whole workflow.
So I have some experience in Python. I have to do it advanced. How can I be able to do it?
May I know what you're working? So yeah, like whatever you want to learn, like to go ahead, like to go a step further, the only way is to like look for tutorials or like you don't have to like register for such courses to learn that, but you should always be able to find online materials for this for any purpose. So you just go ahead learning that, and the most important thing is to practice. Like you just start practicing with your data set, and yeah, that's the like first thing you do when you want to learn something. And
Yes, ma'am.
there are no doubt clearing sessions for all courses of NPTEL. Everyone. Okay. But yeah, as far as I know, most of the courses they have doubt clearing sessions. Like, not it's not necessarily doubt clearing, but yeah, like most of the courses have these live sessions. Everyone say Python syntax is easy than C, whether it is true. So yeah, people say that because C, when you look at a C script, like when you look at a C script, you might not understand what they have done. But you can understand a Python script because it's very readable. When I say readable, so let me just try to show you a script.
In which area you are working, madam?
So my PhD is on bioinformatics. So I work with cancer samples. So like I get a lot of cancer tissues. And so we sequence DNA from those cancer tissues and I analyze that data, like to identify what part of the DNA has gone wrong and why people are getting the cancer. So yeah, like to be very general, that's what I do.
Great.
Okay, so why do people say Python is easier than C? It's because it's readable. So when you read this line, it says warnings dot simple filter action ignore. So just reading this line, you can say that what this line does is, so whenever you run a chunk, you might you can see all these are warning messages. So it's like warning messages, or it just tells you what that line does. It just gives you like a background, uh, what do you call it? So the line tells the Python to suppress, ignore these warnings. Like don't give me warning outputs. So when you run that, you won't get all these red boxes. So the thing, what I mean to say is, like you read this line and you kind of get an idea of what this line does. So that's why it's very easy when you look at a Python script, it's very easy to understand. So now look at this. So this is just the name of the library. So read H5AD. So H5AD is a file format. So this is reading the file, reading the H5AD format, right? So it's very understandable. Like when you just read a Python script, it's very self-explanatory. So that's why it's very easy to learn Python.
What is that very lengthy? Like 1, 2, 33, 34, that one?
Which one? These?
These things, yes, ma'am. The
Oh,
codes are
these?
lengthy.
Okay. Uh, yeah, this is just like a kind of work that I do. So what you see here is we have taken like a cancer sample and so there are many cells in our body. We have sequenced the DNA in each cell. So each
Okay.
dot represents one cell in the body. So inside your body, there are many different types of cells, right? Like heart cells are different from liver cells, and these liver cells are different from your brain cells. So each of these different cell types have a unique signature. So that's why you can see different clusters. So all the cells that belong to the same cell type, they cluster together. So
Yes, ma'am.
yeah, trying to identify which cluster is what cell type based on the gene expression profiles, and I'm doing that. So yeah, here this is just like assigning cluster number 0 to this type of cell. So I'm just renaming these clusters.
So, ma'am, this Python can be used in different field, whether we are from bioinformatics or any data science, programming.
Any field, even like people electrical engineering and IT people, like anybody can use these languages.
Oh,
It's not meant for any specific field. It's just a very general field. It can be used for any application.
okay, ma'am.
Can you tell about data science? So data science is nothing but like any field you generate data. So let's say you work in a like call center company. So what kind of data do you have there? You have a list of people and their phone numbers, probably their addresses, the country they live in. So all this is data, right? So now you want to see how many people are from this particular region. So yeah, like you can just write a code to tell you that. So this is like one example of data science. So any science dealing with data is like data science. This course is not sufficient to get a job in data science. Like, yeah, the data science, there are like several aspects in data science, right? Like just knowing what Python, like this is like a very introductory course. Like this might not be sufficient, but yeah, this can be the first step you take in learning data science. Yeah, this course is for everybody. Like it doesn't matter if you are first year or like I've seen a lot of people who have done like MBBS, and after doing MBBS they come and do this course.
போட சொன்னாரியா போட்டியா நான் போடல ஃபர்ஸ்ட் இயர் பசங்க வச்சு நானும் என் கிளாஸ் பையன் ஒன்று வேலை வாங்கிட்டாங்களா நம்ம தான் வேலை வாங்கணும் ஃபர்ஸ்ட் மைனரி ரெண்டு சொல்
Okay, what is it? So yeah, anybody can attend this course. It's just like you need to be wanting to learn Python, and you need to know like why do you want to learn Python or something. Like if you think you'll be applying this with your work, or you think it might be useful for you, yeah, you can, anybody can learn this. Coming from chemistry background, and I want to know if there's any scope in data analytics for my domain after learning Python. Yeah, like I say, like all the fields, there is a data science aspect. So because like let's say you do field work, so like or you do experiments. So what do you do when you do experiments? Whatever results, whatever the outcome of the experiment is, that is a recorded data, right? But somebody has to analyze data to make sense of the experiment. The whole point of doing an experiment is to analyze the results. So yes, Anil Shat. Yeah, I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing it wrong. So yeah, chemistry, there's probably very good scope for data analytics in chemistry after
Hello,
doing
ma'am.
Python. And yeah, there's one more thing, like these days, there's a lot of
Hello.
demand for yeah.
Hello, ma'am.
Yes.
Ma'am, in the sequence of data type, second week, part 2 video is not clear, ma'am. It is not able to understand. Can you explain?
Week 2, okay. So this is just week 1 summary. I haven't gone through week 2 yet. So I'll be going through week 2 in the on next Tuesday. But yeah, I can have a look. Which one were you
Second
talking
one,
about? Week 2?
week 2.
Data, what's data?
That part 2, ma'am.
Okay.
How the outputs are visible, ma'am?
Okay.
It is not able to understand. Can you explain in a short and simple manner?
Yeah, I'm not sure I'll have time to do this now because I haven't gone through this week 2.
Yes.
If you have any problems with week 1, you can let me know because yeah, that's what this week is supposed to cover. But yeah, I can just like next Tuesday I'll be covering week 2. If you want to know before, yeah, I'll try to address it on discussion forum. Like I'll try to give you a summary. Please solve the week 1 assignment. So I believe the deadline for your week 1 assignment would be tomorrow, right? Yeah, there's one more thing. I'm not supposed to directly solve assignments, but I can just go to similar concepts that might help solve week 1 assignment. So maybe I'll do that first. I'll just like give you an overview, a summary of what was covered in week one. It's gonna be quick. Like there's not much. I can just quickly go through that. And after that, I can come back to answering all the questions. Is that okay? Yeah, I think that's best. Otherwise, it's just like an aimless session. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, then let me do that. Okay, I'll start from the very basics because there are some people that I can see some people that like they want me to start right from the basics, and why is this not going? Okay. Okay, so
Ma'am,
yes,
where can I see our assignments?
where can you see the assignments? So you have access to this portal, right? Like you should be having access. Like if you have registered, you don't I don't know. Yeah. Like, are you able to like go into this? Like, are you able to look at the recordings and all? So yeah, if you look at this week one, there is quiz week one, assignment one. So if you just click on this, you should be having your assignment. Yeah, and you need to like answer here and just submit your answer. Is that okay?
Okay, ma'am.
Okay. So yeah, I believe like downloading Python is probably simple. Like,
Ma'am, this program is how many weeks schedule, ma'am?
sorry,
This program has been 4 week schedule or 8 week schedule.
this is a 4-week course.
Okay, ma'am.
Downloading Python is
Ma'am, it is any difference about 4-week program or 8-week program?
8-week program is just probably more a wide range of topics that are covered, or like you might be going into like you might be looking at the contents in more detail as compared to a 4-week course.
Is a beneficiary, ma'am. 4 weeks course or 8 weeks course
The longer
for the
courses are
beginners.
definitely more beneficial, I would say.
Ma'am, it's mean 8 weeks course is a certificate is more valuable than 4 weeks.
Yeah, that depends on college. Like some colleges, they give you credits, extra credits if you do all these courses. So like if you do a 12-week course, that's equivalent to 3 credits, like in some colleges. Like the college that I studied, that was the case. So it might be similar for you. But yeah, apart from that, apart from your grades, like longer courses are beneficial because you learn a lot of things and yeah, probably more in detail. While this 4-week courses, they just like either they tell you the very basic stuff or it's just like an overview of all like multiple concepts, not very much in detail.
Ma'am, in week one,
Ma'am,
the
how
total
many
schedule
credits will be received?
PDF is visible, ma'am. Available for downloading.
The live session, yeah, somebody's scribbling. Yeah, can you? Yeah. Okay, how to stop.
Ma'am, in week one schedule,
Yes.
the PDF is visible for all. Access are visible from all students. Is this is
Not sure what do you mean by PDF?
we are able to understand the PDF in completing the videos. We have to practice sessions. Week one
Okay.
is there, ma'am,
So you see the lecture
in the
slides,
portal?
right?
Yes, sir. Lectures.
Yes,
Only there
yes.
is only slides. There is any PDF such type of PDFs.
All these are just like slides. I can upload all these scripts for you.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, so I'll show you
Give
this.
access, ma'am. Give the access for downloading app for students.
Yeah, I can do that. But like because this is my first week as well, I'm not sure where you can the live session and the live session materials. So you should be given access to that. I can confirm that within 2. And that,
Ma'am, is there any deadline for assignments?
yeah, I think every Wednesday is a deadline. Like I think it's course, but that is the norm. Like in general, that's the norm.
It's
Every
each
Wednesday.
Okay,
the
ma'am.
deadline.
Sorry.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay. Okay, so I think I'll just like quickly go through the concepts because yeah, somebody like might not have had time to watch the videos. So I'll just quickly like brush up. So yeah, it's easy to install Python. You can just Google install Python and you can set it up on your Mac or your Windows, whichever one you have. So you can run Python different ways. One is you open the terminal. So every computer has a terminal. So on Mac, you just type terminal and you can get that window. So this black thing. So if you just go there and type Python, it'll like go get into your Python console. So you can do anything here, like import. You can import a library and do anything. But this is not very convenient because it is hard to like document your script. So like whatever you do here, it's gone. It's not saved anywhere unless you like save the object, but you don't have your script saved. So it's not very easy to document and your outputs are not saved directly. Like it just like comes up as a pop-up window. So it's not very convenient. So for that purpose, to make things easy for you, there are things like these, a lot of interfaces that have been built to run Python. So you can install Anaconda Navigator. You can download this thing. It's like a whole package of all these things. So there's Jupyter that I just briefly explained. I showed you like how it is. And you can also use R Studio. So this is a different programming language, which we're not getting into now. And so there's also Spyder notebook, which is dedicated to Python. So this whole course, all the demonstrations will be done on Spyder. And also your lecture videos, if you have seen, like they just explain how to use Spyder there. So let's do that.
Ma'am, in Python IDE, we have to complete the projects.
Projects. I'm not sure what that is, but yeah, you don't have to do anything. Like you don't have, it's
I
not,
mean, in my lab, in my students' laptops and my laptops, my friends' laptops, Anaconda is able to crash in the laptops.
Anaconda is crashing your laptops.
Yes, ma'am. One laptop is gone. That's
Yeah,
why we have to choose in the PyCharm. Is it?
Oh, yeah, that's so if you're not able to download Anaconda Navigator, you can just download the standalone applications. By that I mean you can simply install PyCharm or you can just install Spyder.
Okay,
Yeah,
ma'am.
that's for now. But whatever you use, yeah, I don't have PyCharm, but everything's probably similar to this. I don't know how to erase all these scribblings. So,
Coming to the exam, ma'am, how many points we have to get for the certificates?
I am not sure. Probably 50%. But that again, yeah, I think 50% is what you need to get for you to get the NPTEL certificate. Yes.
Ma'am, how many credits we will receive from that, ma'am?
So that depends on your colleges. Like you attending these exams, you'll like on from our end, we only give you the certificates. But I don't know, like it depends on your colleges. Some colleges they convert these into credits. So you don't have to take up additional courses in your college. You can instead you take NPTEL courses. So you can talk to your college like course coordinator about this. If
Ma'am, in exam, how many points we have to get, ma'am, for the certificate?
I think 50% of the marks, but I'm not
50%.
sure.
Ma'am, I have a small doubt.
Hmm.
If we complete this course, can we skip this subject in our BTech?
This course, no, this is a very short course, so I cannot say that yet. But maybe towards the end of the week, Python, it probably has much more topics covered. So it might be useful to still take it up. But yeah, if you probably take an NPTEL 12-week course, then yes, you can skip your college. These NPTEL courses would have covered enough.
So it will
Total
depend
8
upon
weeks
the
not there.
duration.
Only 4 weeks are available.
There should be courses. So last semester, I handled a 12-week course, which was data science with R. So I think even Python should be similar.
Present the semester we have cannot finding the 8 weeks and 12 weeks course, ma'am. Only 4 weeks are visible.
Yes, ma'am.
Oh. This is the list of all the courses. So let me see. So like, are you talking about just Python? There's one more thing, programming data structure and algorithms using Python. There's an 8-week course. There's another 12-week course, scientific computing
Hello.
using Python. Yes. Hello. Yeah, somebody's saying something like I couldn't. Okay, but yeah, as far as I can see there, I do see a lot of 12-week courses as well.
Ma'am,
There
can
is,
we move on with the assignment?
yeah, yes, let's do that. So your assignment, like I can show you last year's assignment. Okay, that has disappeared. Okay, can like mostly going to be about the syntaxes. It's going to tell like the questions are going to be like if you run a particular line of what will be the output. Like it could either be an answer or it could throw an error. So it could be something like that. Or you could have questions like where A is equal to 2, B is equal to 5. They ask what is A plus B. Or like, what is that? So we can be like this. So yeah. Sorry. Yeah. Yeah. And if somebody knows how I can erase these, can you please tell me? Yeah, because I really don't know. How do I erase these? Okay, never mind. Okay, so this is your Spyder interface. So this part is where you can write your scripts and you can just save your scripts. So all these, if you just like play around with this, you can understand this. Like if you go to file, you can save your script either by using the shortcut, or you could just use these drop down options to save your script, or you can like create a new script, like file, new file. A new file will be created. So yeah, it's just as simple as that. So yeah, what you do is,
Please tell how to use Spyder, ma'am.
yeah, that's what I'm trying to do. So this is where you write your scripts, this part, and this is your console. So whatever you run, so now you've written the script. Now you need to execute the scripts, right? So if you run this, if you click on this green button, it executes your whole script. It runs all of your scripts. But that is not ideal for us because we are just looking at very small chunks of codes. So like in advanced levels, what people do is they just have one task. So to perform that one task, they write multiple lines of scripts. In that case, you just run this whole thing and you allow all these lines to be executed. But we don't want to do that. We just want to run one line at a time. So to do that, you can just right click. If you right click, you can see all this. You can click on run selection or current line. If you do that, only this current line will be executed. So that's what we want. Okay. So when you work on something, you need to work on a specific folder, which is also called a directory. So there are multiple folders in your computer. So let's say all the files that I want are all the wait, I can show you here if that's easier. So all the folders, all the files that I want are inside this folder, NPTEL_Python. So I want to navigate inside this folder so that all the scripts that I run here can be saved directly there. So to do that, I can go to the terminal. No, I'm not going to the terminal. So what I can do is I can click on this folder icon that you can see here. You can see a folder icon here, right? You can go here and select the folder. Like I wanted NPTEL_Python folder, right? I select that folder and I click on open. If I do that, that path will be set. So that is one way to do it. Or if you don't want to do that, you can do it using these lines. So you need to import the OS library to do that. So I'm doing that. Run current selection or current line. Import OS is done. So I'm doing os.chdr. That means change directory. So I'm changing my directory. So like for now, I'm changing it to downloads. No, I'm changing it to NPTEL Python. So if I run this, your path will be set. So that's one way to navigate across folders.
Ma'am,
So, okay.
ma'am, I
And
think week 1 does not contain NumPy and Python pandas module.
yes, it does not. This is just like to show you what a library is, how you load it. Yeah, I'll get to that. Okay.
Okay. Thank you, ma'am.
So yeah, the first thing is like creating variables, assigning variables. So here everything is assigned by using an equal to sign. So what I do is I'm creating a variable called a, and I'm storing it with a value of 5. So a is equal to 5. And now I want to create another variable b. So b would be a plus 20. So now I want to know the values of a and b. So like to do that, I can just do print small letters, print. If I just want a, I just do print a. Or if I just want b, I write print b. If now I want to see both a and b, what is it? So I do print a comma b. No, I have not defined a. So I didn't execute these lines, right? I just showed these lines to you, but I didn't execute them. That's why I'm getting this error. It's not.
The NPTEL
We need to do this. Run a is equal to 5. Now we have run it. Equal to a plus 20. You have run it. Now you run print a comma b. So now you can see a is equal to 5, b is equal to 25. We defined b is equal to a plus 20. So a was, yeah, whoever these boxes, can you stop? Yeah. Okay. So there's one more aspect, like if you are a programmer, you write scripts. Writing scripts is not enough. You need to annotate your scripts. By that, I mean, like you've y- it's if you just write all these scripts, later when you go back and look at the script, you might not be able to recall what the script does, like what this specific line does. You might not understand. Or if you want to share your script with somebody else, they might not understand why you've written that particular line. So to make it more understandable, you comment lines. So yeah, so here you can see all these lines I've commented. By commenting, I mean I'm telling you what these following lines do. So here I've written importing libraries. So the next 3 lines means that these lines are used to import libraries. And here to view all functions a library does. So yeah, so basically just annotating, like telling, it's kind of creating a readable version of what the script does. So to do that, you just start the line with a hashtag. You start with a hashtag and just write whatever you want. And you can also do this. So if you have all these lines, you want to comment these, you can just press Ctrl+1. It's not happening. Okay, wait. Yeah. For Mac, it's Command+1. For Windows, it's Control+1. So if you press Ctrl+1, these lines, the selected lines will get commented. So by that, so when you do this, what happens is when you execute the script, these lines which are commented will not be executed. So those lines will be skipped, right? So yeah, the purpose of this is for you to understand why you have written that particular line. So that is one use case of commenting. So one more use is when I don't want to import NumPy in this script. So I can just comment out this line. I don't want to run the script, but I don't want to delete this line. I'm keeping it, but I don't want to run it. So I'll comment it. So these are 2 cases where commenting is widely used. You could also just like right click and press on comment or uncomment to do that.
Ma'am, is it
Yes.
necessary to use NumPy? We can directly use operations in Python. Why is it necessary to use NumPy for operating different integers or different kind of things?
Yes. So like whatever we have done in week 1, it does not require any libraries. So all these are just very basic operations. So yeah, we don't use any libraries here. So maybe in the following weeks, you will be, I'll probably explain why you use NumPy and what kind of operations you use NumPy. So what these libraries are is, so here I've written A plus B. But let's say you want to perform a different task, but I don't know what code to write to do the task. I don't know that. But there are certain libraries where you already have inbuilt functions. To use inbuilt functions, you have to load those libraries. So let's say you write, I don't know, like you want, instead of writing, so let's say we have 100 numbers. So manually writing A plus B plus C plus until like 100, it's impossible. Can't do that. So instead of that, it's easier to write a function sum of A to Z. That's easier, right? So in this case, sum is a function. So, but now you don't know how to write that function. So such libraries, they already have their inbuilt function. Function. Like in this case, that's what libraries are. Inbuilt functions that can one word form that. Was that clear? What? Was that clear? Yeah, I hope it's clear. Okay, maybe I'll do one thing. I'll mute all and I'm disabling allow participants to unmute themselves. So if you have a question, you can raise your hands and I will unmute you because I think that's better for everybody. All right. Yeah, I've done that. Okay, so I just explained libraries. So yeah, we are not using libraries yet. But yeah, because since this is just an introduction, I'm telling you this is how you import libraries. And if you want to know what a library does, you just like go here, you type in NumPy. It gives you the whole documentation of what it does. Like it tells you like what this thing does. Like Yeah, so there are several other like you can also look at matplotlib. It tells you, yeah. If you just give me 2 minutes, I'll try to erase all these markings. Okay, yeah. Yeah, I hope the screen is much clearer now. Yeah, I'll keep this open just in case somebody asks something and I don't miss it. Yeah, here we were talking about document. Okay. Yeah, that it is not important now. Okay, so now the next thing is naming variables. So yeah, you can name variables in any way that you want. It could be just alphabets or a mix of alphabets and numbers, or it can be descriptive, like age. Like it's easier to understand that, like a variable. Like instead of A, you might not know what A is, but if you name the variable like of what it is, that's more easy to understand. So you can use like uppercase, lowercase, and no special characters are allowed except underscore. So when you name variables, you can use only underscore in between the alphabets and numbers, right? Like you can see here, age underscore P1. Here P stands for patient. So A underscore P1 underscore is allowed. But let's say I do age dot P1. If I try to run this, what happens? I get an error. Should get an error. So see, it says, yeah, name error. It gives a name error. Or let's say I use age hyphen P1. That's also not going to work. It gives you syntax error, like cannot assign to operator. So you only underscore is allowed in between the alphabets. And one more thing is your variable cannot start with a number. It always has to start with an alphabet. So you can't write one age. You can write age one, like age one, but you can't start with a numerical value. So this is the like basic norms of how you name a variable. And to assign a variable, you do equal to. So age is equal to 12. Or like you can also assign multiple values like simultaneously, like age underscore P1, comma, age underscore P2, comma, age underscore P3 is equal to three values separated by commas. So let's say I run this code. What happens is that, so all these are assigned. Now I just want to print age underscore P2. So what would you expect? Here you can see that I have assigned age P2 is 43. So when I print age P2, I should get 43. Right? See, you get a 43 here. So this is how you assign multiple variables in one go. Instead of doing like writing 3 lines, you can just write this 1 line to assign multiple variables. So the next section was data types. So the major data types are strings which are just a list, like a character. I mean, like sequence of characters, which is this. So S is a character, A is a character, N is a character, right? So the whole thread of characters is a string. So you always enclose strings within double quotes, like here. So your patient name is equal to Sanjay. You're writing a name. If there's any Sanjay, please excuse me. Yeah. So age is equal to 49. I'm assigning the age variable 49 and I'm assigning the height, which is a decimal number. So now I want to know what is the data type of patient name, what is the data type of height. I simply write type of the variable name, right? So let me run all of these. So to run all of these, you just simply select all the lines and run the selection. So all these lines will be executed. Now you want to find type of this. So type of patient name is a string. So you get str. str stands for string. Now type of age is a number 49. So 49 is a number, right? But what number? It's a whole number. So it's an integer. So type of age, you get int, which stands for integer. Now height, since height is a decimal value, it is a float. It's called float. Like any number with decimal value, it's called float in like these languages. So this is one thing. So one more thing that we can do is we can convert one data type into another. So here, disease stage, like this variable is assigned stage 1. So if you see type of this disease stage, you get string because it's enclosed within quotes. So anything enclosed within single or double quotes is a string. You can also convert this into an integer data type by simply writing disease stage is equal to integer of disease state. So now if you write type of disease state, you can see an integer. So if I now, but okay, now I'm trying to convert the name to a float. So like if you logically think about it, it's impossible to convert a character, like it's impossible to convert a name to a number, right? Here, you're just converting a number to a number. That's possible. So that's why you were able to run this. But if you try to do patient name is equal to float patient name, you'll get an error. It'll give you a value error which says could not convert string to float. So yeah, you can convert an integer to a float, or you can convert a float to an integer, but you can't convert a string to an integer. A string to an integer is possible only when the value enclosed within the quote is a number. This is one thing. So the next thing is performing operations across these variables. So the basic ones are arithmetic operators. So like we assign two values, A and B. Let's say A is equal to 2 and B is 5. We have assigned these. So now I want to do addition. Addition is simple, like you just do A plus B. You get the answer. And then subtraction is also just A minus B, which, yeah, these are all straightforward. Now, what is A star B? A asterisk B. So this stands for multiplication. A asterisk B is multiplication. So you might get an assignment question, multiply A and B. So what do you do then? Here you don't have the into, the cross sign for multiplication. So here, instead of that, you use asterisk, the star sign. So now you run this, A asterisk B, you'll get 2 into 5, 10. You get the answer. And now what is double asterisk? Like if you write 2 stars, what does that mean? It means A to the power B, right? So A is 2, 2 raised to the power 5. Power. Now if you run this, you should get the answer. 2 raised to the power 5, you get 32. And now for division, So all these three lines that I've written here, they do division. But yeah, what value is returned, that's the difference here. So the standard division, so like A divided B, no, let's do B divided by A. So 5 divided by 2, you usually get the, so wait, let me explain with the whole number. So 10 divided by 2 is 5, right? So that's the quotient because 5 into 2 is 10. So that's the quotient. So this single slash gives you does a division and returns the value of the quotient. So it gives you 2.5. Like 5 divided by 2 is 2.5. But if you do B percentage symbol A, it gives you the reminder. So 5 divided by 2, you have 2 2s are 4, and 5 minus 4 is 1. So your reminder is 1, right? So if you do B percentage A, you get 1. You get the reminder value. Like you can see here, you get the reminder value. Now there's one more thing that's called floor division that is given by double slash. So B double slash, okay, let's do that. Let's first try B double slash A. So that is kind of straightforward. So 5 divided by 2, the actual quotient is 2.5. But floor division means it just gives you the nearest integer that is smaller or equal to x. So in this case, your answer is 2.5. So what is the nearest integer that is smaller than 2.5? It's 2, right? The nearest integers 2.5 are 2 and 3. But which is smaller? 2 is smaller. So that is the answer for the floor division. Like when you have double slash, it's called floor division. And that's what that gives you. So here you get 2.5. But in case you have a negative number, let's say minus B divided by A, it is minus 3. Because your answer would be minus 2.5. What is the nearest integer? It's minus 2 and minus 3. Comparing minus 2 and minus 3, which is smaller? Minus 3 is smaller, right? So it gives you the nearest smaller integer to your quotient. So that's what is floor division. This might not have been covered in the lectures, but yeah, you might be having these kind of problems in your assignment. So if you see a double slash, don't get confused. I don't think it's a typo. That is actually a function in Python. And the next thing is assignment operators. It's just like, so when I write A plus is equal to B, it means A is equal to A plus B. So now A is equal to 2, right? B is equal to 5. Now, if you do A, okay, let me do this. Print. So I've done A is equal to A plus B, and then I print A. What do I get? So I should get A is equal to 7. Let's see if I get that. Yes, I get a 7. So yeah, you can just go through all of these. Like I can share the script and you can try running it by yourself and you can try to make sense out of it. As a thing. And then these were assignment operators. And then relational operators. These basically just compare and give you a Boolean value. By Boolean value, I mean true or false. So now I have two variables, x and y. X is equal to 12 and y is equal to 4. So now I want to print x is less than y. So that is false, right? Do I get false? Yes, I do get false. So that's what these operators do. They just like return if the comparison is true or false. So print x less than or equal to y. It sees if x is lesser than or equal to y. Similarly, greater than y, and this greater than or equal to y. And if you write two equal to signs, it means x is exactly equal to y. So in this case, it's false. So you'll still get false. If both x and y is equal to 4, and if you write this, you'll get a true value. And exclamatory mark followed by an equal to sign means not equal to. So x is not equal to y is true, right? X is 12, y is 4. So these are not equal to each other. So x is not equal to y would be true. Let me run that. So I get it true. So basically, relational operators are just used to compare variables, and it tells you if the comparison is true or false. And then there's logical operators. Yeah, two people have raised hands. Uh, okay. Trishant, yeah, one.
Thank you, ma'am. I have a question.
Mhm.
You didn't print anything. Then how did you get the output, ma'am?
What I'm getting the outputs here. If you didn't follow, can you see
Not
this?
that, ma'am. Not that. Can you see the floor division? You didn't print anything.
I did
But
print here.
you
Yeah.
didn't print. But you get the output.
It is printed here. That is the output. So it just
Uh,
gives you the output. It doesn't solve anything.
okay, okay, ma'am. And by the way,
Yeah.
I'm using Visual Studio Code. Is that enough to?
Good. Visual
Uh,
Studio.
okay,
Yeah.
ma'am.
It's not
Thank you.
right over. Yeah. So Visual Studio Code is another interface.
Okay, okay. Thank you, ma'am.
Yeah, I'll just explain it to others as well. Open with. So there's another thing called Visual Studio Code. You can open like any language script here and execute it. Yeah, this is how it looks. So this is also an interface. Yeah, you can use any interface that you're comfortable with. So that's not a problem. So yeah, when I did floor division, it just gives you the output. But what I did was I was explaining how you get this output here, right? That's why you might have been confused there. Somebody else had raised their hand. This is Ramesh.
Hello.
Yes.
Ma'am, sorry. Actually, I didn't understood the floor function.
Okay.
So
Yeah, that is a bit
yeah,
tricky.
what does that double division means?
Okay, like I'll explain it in an easier way.
Yes, yes, yes.
So let's say I do 10 divided by 10 by 5 is divisible. So let's not do. Okay, let's do that. No, that's already an integer. Let's do 10 divided by 4. Okay. So 10 divided by 4. Wait, let's do normal division. 10 divided by 4. So I do normal division first. So I'll probably get a quotient, right? So the quotient here is 2.5. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
But when I do floor division, what do I get? I get 2. So why do I get 2? So what floor division does is, normal division would give you a decimal value. So floor division, it looks for the nearest integer that is smaller than the actual value. So now the value is 2.5, right? 2.5 is your actual quotient. So what are the nearest integers to these?
2
2.5.
actually for 2.5. 2. Yeah.
Yeah, 2 and 3 are the nearest integers. But
Yes.
floor division chooses the smaller value. So 2 is the smaller integer. So that's why your answer is 2.
Okay.
Let me
Thank you. Thank you.
do 10 divided by 8. 10 divided by 8, I get like 1.25. So even in this case, your value is 1. Let me do 10 divided by 3 now. I get 3.33. So even in this case, the smaller integer would be 3. right? So, but when you have negative values, it might be tricky, but it's still the same concept. It looks for the smaller integer. So when you have negative numbers, you have -3 and -2, which is small. -3 is small, right? So when you have negative values, the bigger number will actually be the smallest. So is that clear or is that confusing? Let me do 10 by 4. So -10/4 answer, normal division will give you -2.5. Now nearest integer to -2.5 is -2 and -3. But on a negative scale, -2, -3, which is small. -3 is smaller. So floor division of -10/4 will give you -3. Yeah. Yeah, for your information, I can understand Tamil. Yeah, I can see some conversations here. So. Alright. Ramesh Kumar had a question, I guess. Yeah, if you have a question, you could go ahead. Okay, if that was clear, I can just move on to the next thing. Where was I? Okay, logical operations. So logical operations, the three widely used operators are or, logical and logical not. So to explain this in simpler ways, let's say there's one comparison. So when you have two comparisons. So one comparison could be true and one comparison could be false. Or both comparisons could be true. Both comparisons could be false, right?
Hello,
We could
ma'am.
have,
Am I audible?
yes, please go ahead.
Ma'am, hello.
Yeah, yes, I can hear you.
Ma'am, please take one numerical expression and explain the arithmetic operators, how it is being evaluated. In which
Okay.
order it is getting evaluated.
Which order? I think I'll come to that. Or no, I think I skipped that.
Yes,
Where
yes.
was it?
You have completed the arithmetic operators. I want to know how this being evaluating a numerical expression.
Okay, let's say I have 10 plus 2. No. Let's say I have 2 plus 10 divided by 5. So this is an expression I've given. I think I wrote it somewhere. Did I not write it? Okay, the order in which it performs the operator is, you can remember. Yeah, you can remember this. Like you must be familiar with the term board mass. Like it stands for bracket and like division, multiplication, addition, subtraction. So similarly here you have like you can remember it as fed mass. P is parenthesis. So when you have a bracket in your expression, it first tries to solve what is inside the bracket. And E stands for exponential operator. By exponential operator, you mean this thing, power, like a to the power b, like double star b, that is an exponential operator. That is computed next. And then division is computed next. And then multiplication. And then addition and subtraction are given the same weightage. Like it doesn't matter if addition is done first or subtraction is done first. So this is the order in which the computation happens. So you can remember this. Like first is parenthesis, and then exponent, and then division, multiplication, addition, and subtraction. Okay, like yeah, for example, if you run this, so 10 divided by 5 is 2. 2 plus 2 is 4. But so 4 should be your correct answer. But let's say if you like in your exam, you'll be asked to solve this. You might not be able to run Python. So when you're asked to solve this, you need to know which order to solve this in. So In this case, division is there. So you solve division first and then you perform the addition, right? But if you do 2 plus 10, it is 12. 12 divided by 5, it will give you 2 point something. So let's see what answer you get. Do you get 2 point something or do you get 4? So I get 4, right? That's because you do division first, addition next. Was that clear? Like, did I answer your question? Yeah. Yeah, you have to remember this because you might be asked in your exam, you like final exam where you might not have access to Python, you'll be asked, how does Python solve this? So if you do it in the wrong order, you'll get a wrong answer. You'll get 2 point something. If you do 2 plus 10 first and then you divide by 5, you'll get wrong answer. So you need to remember this. Yeah, thanks for pointing that out. I missed that. So here, yeah, talking about logical operators. Yeah, I said the different combinations that can happen. So when you write a logical OR, what it does is, if you have one true, it gives you output is true. If you have two trues, your output is true. If you have two false, your output is false. This is what OR does. Logical OR does this. What does logical AND do? You have true, false. You can have false, true. You can have true, true. You can have false, false, right? So when there's a logical AND, if you have false in either one, their output is false. Here I have one false, so output is false. So I get an output true only if both the combination, both these what is this called? Both these relational operators are true. Only if both are true, I get true. If there's an AND. If both are false, there's a false. Okay? You just need to understand these. And not is just like not equal to. So not, so we have assigned x is equal to 12 and y is equal to 4. What does this do? So x is not equal to y. So instead of, this can also be written as x exclamatory equal to y. Small letters. So both of these are the same thing. Not of x equal to y is the same as x exclamatory equal to y. You're just writing it in different ways. Yeah, and you can all just work these out. You just need to understand this is the logic behind these things. If either one is true, when you have an OR, it gives you true. If, yeah, and similarly for AND, you just remember these. And then there's something called bitwise operation. So what it does is, so every number or every number is composed of bits of zeros and ones. So when I say 5, the bit value of 5 is 101. And the bit value of 3 is 011. Okay. So when I perform a logical operation on these, what it does is it compares every single bit. So now let's say, can you see what I'm doing? So the first value is 1 and 0. So the logical operation is AND here. So what does AND do? If there is 1, 0, it gives the output is 0. And here 0, 1, output is 0. And then final last term, I have 2 ones. So 2 ones, I finally get a 1. So your answer is, your binary string answer is 001. Okay. Now, but what does 001 mean? What integer is that? So if I need to find that out, I can just run this code. I can like do this. Your answer is 1. So 001 is the bit, but the binary value for the integer 1. So 5 and 3. If you run this script, you will get answer 1. See, you get an output 1 here as well. So this is bitwise operators. So your assignment 1 should be based on these. Yep. So this was all that was covered in week 1. So I've also given you some examples that were not explicitly covered in the lectures, but might be there in your assignments. Yeah, I think. Yeah, I hope that was fine. And yeah, we have already we are way past the time. So yeah, if you have any questions, you can always post on the discussion forum that I had mentioned. And yeah, we can meet next Tuesday if you don't have any questions now. Yeah, please go ahead, Kavin, Kishore.
Excuse me, ma'am.
Yeah,
Ma'am, can you explain that bitwise operator again?
okay. So bitwise operator, it just compares every value, every position of a bit binary string, right? So these values might be given to you in an exam. So you are not expected to know what is the bit value for 5. So this might be given to you in an exam. So when they give 5 and 3, they will give you these values as well. So what you have to do is you need to compare the first position. So yeah, if you remember this thing that I highlight here, that's enough. So here in this case, we have an AND operator, right? So AND operator, you get your output is true only if both your values are true. So in bitwise operators, yeah, I forgot to mention, in bitwise operators, 0 means false, 1 means true. Okay. So now you just keep this in mind and you keep this in mind. So your output will be true only if both your values are 1. Otherwise, if you have 1 0 or 0 or 1 or 0 0, your output is going to be 0. So that's what we do here. The first position, we have 1 and we have 0, right? So your output is 0. Second position, you have 1 0, you have a 1. So your output is 1. And then third value, you have both the positions, you have 1. So your output is 1. Right? So your output is 0 0 1. So that is your binary string. But now I don't know what integer that is. What integer is 0 0 1 the binary string for? So to know that, you just do integer of, like int of. Why do you do int of? Because I want to convert the binary string to integer. So we saw this, right? The data coercion, this thing, coercing an object to new data type. So if you want to convert a float to an integer, you write integer inside the bracket, you write the thing. So here you do the same thing, integer of, you write your binary string. Your binary string was 0 0 1. And comma 2 is just like the syntax to tell the computer that 2 2 means binary value. So you're just telling the computer that this one is a binary string. So you do that. So your output is 1. So okay, just to cross check, we already know that 5, it's already given that 5 bitwise string is 101. Okay, now let's try converting that. Convert 101 to an integer, you should get 5. See, we get that. So yeah, I'm just showing you. Here you perform the operation. Your AND operation is done here and you get the output. I'm just telling you how to convert that into a binary, into an integer. Okay, I hope that answered. I will share the script, like should be shared with all of you. You can just run this like at your own pace. All right, like there are no more questions. I'll see you next week. Yeah, we're already late. All right, thank you so much for attending.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
Yeah, ma'am.
Ma'am, is there any other doubt solving problem session or is this the last one?
So my session is next Tuesday, but I think there are other sessions this Friday and maybe Wednesday, I guess. I'm not sure. I know there's one on Friday. I'm not sure about the other sessions.
Where can we find the link of that session?
So you should be getting emails, like reminder emails on your registered email address. Wait, I can just share the screen.
I didn't receive that email.
So yeah, you get all these, not this.
Excuse me, ma'am.
Yeah.
Ma'am, please tell the shortcut key for printing a selected line.
Printing a select, I think it works different for, I'm not sure about like Windows. Where did this go? Printing a selected line.
Ma'am,
So
I
yeah,
think it's
F9.
F9.
First you click F9. So yeah,
Ma'am,
all your here on the right. Yeah.
I have done it, but it is not working in my laptop. So what can I do?
It should work, right? Right. F9. Control Enter. If it doesn't work, then try restarting the application.
But it
again.
worked with the press Control plus Enter. But it's not working with the F9 key.
Okay, then yeah, you can go ahead using that.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you.
Control Enter. Okay, my computer is not working now.
Ma'am,
Yeah.
currently I am preparing for data science. Ma'am, how much DS is required for that?
How much? Sorry.
DSA.
What is that?
How much DS is required for data science?
I'm not sure. Like, is this a different NPTEL course? Or...
DSA means, ma'am, data structure and algorithm.
Okay, I'm not sure about that. That depends on individual courses, I guess.
Okay.
Good evening, ma'am.
Yeah.
Ma'am, where can I find these lectures, previous lectures?
So are your live your do you mean the live lectures that we're doing now, the recordings, or your actual course?
No, yes, ma'am. Previous
Recording of
lecture.
problem solving
Recording.
section.
Oh, that I'll let you know. So you should be given access to an Excel sheet where you'll find the links to all these sessions. I don't know if they have circulated that yet, but they should be doing that soon. Or yeah, let you know in 2 days. I can ask around and let you know.
Okay, ma'am.
Yeah. Okay.
Thank you,
Yeah.
ma'am.
I'll see you next week. And yeah, if you have any doubts, please always post it on the discussion forum and one of the TAs will get back.
What do you mean by discussion forum, ma'am?
Okay. I had explained that in the beginning. I can show that again. Oh, no. So, how do I do that? So if you go to your course page, like wherever you see your lectures, so you see week 1, week 2, all this, right? So you have this page and you go to Q&A. So it tells you discussion forum and it'll redirect you to a Google forum. So you just click on continue and you can see this. So if you have a doubt, you click on new conversation. So if you do this, it'll send an email to everybody in this course registered. It'll send this email to the TAs, to the people who set the question paper. So it'll do that. So whenever you have doubts, you can just post it here, and yeah, one of us will look at it and get back.
Thank you, ma'am.
Ma'am, when is your next session?
Sorry?
When is your next session?
Next Tuesday, 6 p.m.
Tuesday, 6 p.m. This Tuesday.
Today is Tuesday, right? Yeah, like every
No.
this 6 p.m. Yeah, we start. Yeah.
Okay.
Ma'am, one last doubt.
Yeah.
How many questions we are getting for the final exam, ma'am?
I think 50 to 100. Yeah, that again depends on the course. I think probably 50 to
This
100.
is a 4 weeks course, ma'am. This is a 4 weeks course.
Yeah.
Okay. And the duration?
3 hours. Usually for 12 weeks course, it's like 3 hours. It depends on how many questions you have. So the
Okay.
max limit would be 3. Yeah. Yep. All
Okay.
right then. See you
Thank
next.
you, ma'am.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am.
Ma'am, which data set you are used data mining?